until the government is elected and formed. So there have been instances when countries don't have governments. But
normally in those cases, normally in those cases you have maybe military
occupation,
intervention, and sometimes the military is so destabilize the country in the first place. Military coup. So
that's something as in most times. Most times. But there are actually a few countries around the world right now who are experiencing political turmoil, and as a result, and recognized as states. I may call it a name, but there are some that have been through a lot of civil war, especially. Civil war is a big factor that plays into countries being governmentless, especially if you have a civil war between two religious ideologies. One doesn't want the other one to rule. So they're in constant battle, constant warfare in terms of militia and civil, and the country is left to basically fend for itself until those issues have been sorted out. There are countries that have been this way for several decades, without one true leader, without one true recognized leader, without a functioning government. So it's not a good sight. It's not a good sight. Countries need governments to operate, but. That is that. Master?
Yes.
Master?
Yes, we'll jump on the next topic. Because I'm just gonna repeat what Amali said. So in the matter of because I don't have any examples. So
yeah.
And it's a hard concept to really. It sounds good out loud, but then sometimes when you put these things to work, they just fall apart. But
yeah, I think the post on Facebook that I saw was for comedic relief, so I don't think it was a serious thing.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
We'll jump on the Ross University subject.
Oh yes.
So 125 students of the Ross University vet school. They're scheduled to return to the Federation on this Wednesday on a charter flight. According to government information, St. Nevis is happy to welcome a select group of students to return to campus. This return is expected for them to complete a vital part of their education before entering the vet profession. So it's necessary.
Oh, it's semester?
Is final semester students, it seems like, that are returning. The university they have developed a robust plan for the return, and that includes pre-screening for COVID. It's very extensive. I read the article already, and it seems like they're putting these students on lockdown.
Are they going to be? I saw somebody ask a question on Facebook yesterday actually about that particular case. Are they also required to pay $500 to quarantine for 2 weeks?
The article doesn't state, but they're basically saying, and maybe not. Here's why. The students are going to be tested for the virus immediately before returning to the Federation, and again upon arrival. So before they leave, wherever they're leaving from, I'm guessing they're going to have to get their papers to say that they've done their screenings. And then as soon as they land, they're going to be screened again. They're going to be quarantined for the 2-week, the 14-day period on campus housing. So I'm guessing they don't have to pay the $500 because they're not doing it in the government facility. So, of course, Ross is footing that bill, I'm assuming. And then after the quarantine, they will be screened again. So, 3 screenings they basically have to go through. Before they leave.
Before they're able to integrate into the...
Right. Before they leave, upon arrival, and after quarantine, they'll be screened. Brilliant. And then once that happens, they will maintain social distancing guidelines and utilize personal protective equipment once in-person instruction begins. So... Ross is taking it seriously. The dean says that in present times, faculty, staff, and students are partnering with the government of St. Nevis to ensure the safety of all. So, students are coming back to finish the last semester. I'm not sure what's happening with the other semester students, but the final semester students are returning to finish up the last semester, and then they're off to be vets.
Brilliant.
Great stuff.
We'll pause for a very short and concise break, and when we get back, we'll jump into our second segment or will I break from the first segment into a segment and then back to the first segment? I'm not sure. It's just going how they want this morning. So we'll be right back after a few minutes. Yeah.
Found the sound 99.9.
It's time to scratch your ticket. Scratch and you could win it. Plenty lottery games to win. Scratch, how you could win something.
Who doesn't want to win and triple their cash? Now's your chance to triple your winnings with Triple Cash, the newest $5 instant scratch ticket from the Caribbean Lottery. Get your Triple Cash ticket now for your chance to win up to $40,000 with 3 games and 1 bonus spot on each ticket. So play now and win with Triple Cash from the Caribbean Lottery.
Caribbean Lottery.
This is an unprecedented announcement from Horseman's. Get up to $30,000 off and pay 0 VAT on top of that. It's Horseman's Automotive Unprecedented Sales Event happening now. Yes, for the first time ever, you get up to $30,000 off and pay 0 VAT on top of that. Yes, pay 0 VAT and get up to $30,000 off on top of that. This has never been seen before. Unprecedented savings at the Unprecedented Auto Sales Event at Horseman's Automotive. Up to $30,000 off and pay 0 VAT on top of that. Let me repeat, up to $30,000 off and pay 0 VAT on top of that. Don't miss this, it's unprecedented. Terms and conditions apply.
Morning, everyone. Welcome. You are inside the Meridian Medical Corner on Win FM. Brought to you by Meridian Medical Consultants, South Independence Square, Bastyr. In our little corner, we discuss and answer your questions on common health issues and how they may affect you. It's your health. Get involved.
All right, and welcome back to the +1 episode of Island Tea. And we're now joined in the studio by the Honorable Doctor. I can't recall her first name, Lawrence, from Meridian Medical Consultants over in Frigate Bay and downtown Bastyr, which is where the pharmacy is now.
Got your facts very straight. Good morning.
The move happened.
Yes.
And now all the medical appointments are being held
In the Frigate Bay office.
In the Sugars Complex. And the pharmacy alone is downtown, correct?
Correct.
You see, I took note and I paid attention.
You did. And you got the part where we can shuttle people to and from if they can't get to us.
That is true. But you have to tell them in advance.
But
you
they
can't
will
just
also
show up
ask.
for your appointment.
No, but if say you had a walk-in situation, look, if you had a walk-in situation,
But hey,
then then if you have a walk-in, we can still come for you.
you can, but
Yeah.
it's not advised to just walk in and expect to be shuttled.
No, you will get shuttled, so it's okay.
How would that be facilitated? The
The pharmacist.
would organize that for the walk-in patient.
See.
There we go.
And then you have a driver, a full-time driver.
No, we have our assistant that's multifaceted.
Multifaceted. That will jump into the Meridian Mobile.
When necessary.
Meridian Mobile.
Yeah. Is it branded? Mm-hmm. Is it called Meridian Mobile?
It's called Meridian Care Mobile Unit.
You serious?
Yes.
At that. I love it. Oh wow. Service with.
It has a logo and all. Yeah.
I'm telling you.
That's how we do things.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love it. So, Doc, today is Wednesday.
See?
People are, sick, eating badly, not exercising. As a result, certain things are happening. Have you ever spoken about high blood pressure?
Many a time, but it's
I mean, with us.
no.
Mm-mm.
Do you want to touch on that today
Sure,
briefly?
sure. All right, so
Or
yes.
do you need to? Because I remember your husband. he said that one of his mentors would never tell a patient that they don't know. He would say, I need to the bathroom to come back, and then go to the library.
Do their research.
So do you need to go to the bathroom to go to the library?
No, that one is okay. Yeah.
Pressure is okay?
I should
Alright.
have enough information up here.
Okay, brilliant. So let's talk about who is at higher risk for blood pressure and why. Let's talk about the symptoms so you can identify it. Let's talk about means and ways to what is the word? Reduce the risk and to treat it.
If necessary. Sure. So, of course, blood pressure is the pressure that the blood pushes against the blood vessel when it flows through the blood vessel. And we're talking about through arteries and veins. When we talk about hypertension, blood pressure story, it's through arteries. So it's as the blood is flowing through the arteries. Of course, blood flowing through veins will also give you a pressure against the walls, but in the world of hypertension, its vessels are arteries.
Okay.
So the arteries are the blood vessels that take oxygenated blood to organs. So the blood pressure is the pressure that the blood exerts against the walls of the artery as it flows through the arteries.
Okay.
You can appreciate, just like I always like to use the analogy of like a pipe and a drain pipe. So if you have a nice sized drain pipe, the emptying of the drain will be effortless.
Right.
Of course, there'll be pressure as the water flows out, but no big deal. The thing with high blood pressure is that there is more pressure of the blood pushing against the walls of the artery as it flows through the arteries. So now the arteries are experiencing, and as we know, when the heart contracts, that's how it leaves the heart and the blood flows out the heart, and that's where the pressure is driven by how forcefully the heart contracts to push the blood out into the arteries. And if the arteries are stiffer, if the arteries then the walls are too thick, and the analogy as I keep saying about the pipes, instead of having a half-inch pipe, dealing with a quarter-inch pipe with the same amount of fluid in that sink to drain out. If you have now a narrower pipe for the drainage, then you're going to have a bigger pressure as the water is leaving the sink, as the blood is leaving the heart, a narrower pipe, narrower vessels, more pressure. So blood pressure is the pressure the blood exerts against the walls as it flows through the vessels. There's a reason for acknowledging that pressure can be too high, because when pressure is too high, then damage happens to organs. So as the blood flows through the vessels feeding the kidney, you can get damage to those vessels and damage to the kidney. As it flows through the heart feeding the heart, you get damage to the heart. So the organs that the high blood pressure can target and damage would be the heart, the brain, the kidneys, the eyes, and literally the actual vessels that the blood flows through. So we don't say, pressure high or whatever. It's how high is that blood pressure? Because there's a critical level over which damage can happen. When we talk about when we talk about pressure, most people know it's two values, a higher value over a lower value. So the normal blood pressure is the top figure is supposed to be 120 or less, and the bottom figure is to be 80 or less. People are to know what their blood pressure is, and people are to know what values they want to hear. A lot of us, when our pressure is taken, we go to the clinic, we go to the doctor, we go to the emergency room. The person takes your blood pressure and they tell you it's okay. And you leave knowing it's okay. But what really was it? Because some of us don't interpret correctly what the blood pressure is supposed to be. Each person is to know what they want to hear, so that when they get the pressure taken, they want to hear the figures for themselves and let them interpret what it should be. You want to hear 120 over 80 or less, anywhere around there. If so, suppose it's 124 over 84, you will say, okay, that's not bad. Not bad. But you don't want to hear 142 over 96. In some places in this world, some people would have that blood pressure reading and tell the person it's
That's
okay.
fine.
And so, of course, it's not okay, because the definition of hypertension is when your blood pressure is always high. Always high. not like when you're coming on the air for the first time, your pressure might get up because you're a little anxious and nervous. But when you finish, the pressure goes down.
Yeah.
Not that kind of blood pressure. We're talking about persistently elevated blood pressure. So the cutoff for the definition of hypertension in most of the world is that blood pressure is 140 at the top or higher and 90 at the bottom or higher.
And that's hypertension.
And that's hypertension in most of the world. In North America, they recently adjusted their values to be 130 at the top or higher and 80 at the bottom or higher. So they've made their inclusion group in hypertension an even bigger pool, so that is now persistently 130 over 80 or higher. Rest of the world, 140 over 90 or higher. Those values increase the risk of organ damage. So you don't want to hear those readings. You don't want to live in that realm because you can get at risk for organs being damaged.
Wow.
So that's hypertension. You asked about risk factors. We have some risk factors that you can, just like with heart disease, there are risk factors that you can modify, you can change. And then there are risk factors you can't change. So we always like to know what are the ones we can't change. So if we have that person with some of those non-modifiable risk factors, let us be aggressive and attack those risk factors we can change. Most times, the type of hypertension we're facing is one called essential hypertension or primary, where there's no cause. So that's risk factors. So the risk factors would be getting older, particular race, in particular the black race and the Hispanic race, increased risk, being obese or overweight, having diabetes, being male.
Wow, I'm waiting for that. That's what I asked you. I didn't know that coming with that.
So then we're looking at...
Just kill us and done. I don't understand.
So the black man getting older who has diabetes has 4 risk factors. 3 of those he can't change. He's black for life. His genetic makeup, no matter what he might want to do in his lifetime, but his genetic makeup will still be male. And if he doesn't die, he continues to live, he gets older. You going to say something?
I was going to ask, you said the risk is higher in blacks and Latinos. Is it that as a result of our makeup, or is it a result of the diet of these people?
It would have to be all about theory again, because we're talking about cause unknown. But theories have been put forward that the black race, the theory is that we don't handle salt well. So we like salt and we like salted food and thing. But the theory is that when salt is in our bloodstream, we don't handle it well. So we pull more fluid into the vessel, into the bloodstream. So we get that story of a lot of blood volume. And we know when you have a volume of fluid trying to go through a size vessel and its increased volume is going to be pushing harder against the walls, so the pressure goes up. So the theory is that the black race doesn't handle salt well. Theory.
Is it possible that, we're dealing with theories here, is it possible that the conclusion may have come about because black people just eat a lot more salt?
It is possible, but then we look at it isn't just that. Say, for example, and I know diet, not just salt, but sometimes other diets. That when we look back at, say, 60, 70 years ago, when our diet, the general intake of food wasn't fast food, and it was more grown provisions and things. We still had a high level of high blood pressure in the black race 60, 70 years ago. So it isn't just about diets. But we have seen, as we've become a more westernized diet-eating set of people, that our risk, the amount of cases of hypertension has increased a lot. And also happening in the younger and younger population. Because remember I said one of the risk factors was getting older. We're now seeing hypertension happening in younger and younger people. People in their 20s are now being diagnosed with hypertension. I mean, diagnosed with hypertension, not because the pressure was up when you went to see the doctor. It's persistently high. So that definitely feeds into, pun intended, our change in diet. And
She's funny.
I'm very witty is the word.
Witty?
She's correct.
You're not hilarious, you're witty.
Funny too, but that was wit. Yes. So the change in our diet. Not only that, but we've become more car people. We're not walking like we used to 60, 70 years ago.
Not walking at all.
Yeah.
What is a walk?
In small St. Kitts, we don't walk.
No, man.
We drive everywhere.
Everything too far. Insane kids. Anyway. So those things feed into allowed for us to have higher rate of hypertension. As he yawns into the mic to boot, you know.
No,
As
I'm just.
he yawns into the mic.
Oh,
What something you were going to say?
Oh, thank you. You understand how I feel now?
no.
Always
he's-
does that.
He's talking about you.
Sorry,
You
about
yawned
me?
into the mic too?
No, you. We're talking about you.
How?
You yawned into the mic just now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. I mean,
You're just ready to abuse me, eh?
you threw me
Always.
off of my
apologize.
my words. Like
It was a rough night, and I apologize to everyone. It's sincere.
apology accepted.
It's sincere. Please carry on.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was saying now.
What you were saying, because I was listening,
Yes.
is that these are the factors that feed into.
Word for word.
Yeah. I'm paying attention, not because I'm falling asleep, I'm still listening.
Until you're truly not off. So, those are the risk factors that we can't change. So then it's about the risk factors we can change. We spoke
Right.
about some already. Better diet, eating less salty foods, having more active lifestyle. So exercise, don't gain weight. Try to get as close to your ideal body weight as possible. And
Doc-
check your pressure.
According to the body mass index, my ideal body weight is around 190. I lie, it was actually between 170 and 180.
How tall are you?
6 foot and a half an inch.
All right. So there's a calculation to get the ideal body weight.
I know there's an index.
There's a calculation.
Yes,
Right. So
calculation.
the calculation is for the first 5 feet of everybody, it's supposed to be 100 pounds. So your ideal weight for 5 feet flat, 100 pounds. For every inch after that, so for women, every inch after 5 feet, she's to weigh 5 pounds per inch.
This is for women.
That's for women. And for men, it's 7 pounds per inch.
So 7 times
12.
13.
You just said 6 feet.
Okay, so
12.
7,
Right.
6 feet and a half.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
7, so 7 times
13. You're right. Yeah, I'm sure.
12.5
12.5.
is 87 plus 100.
187 pounds is your ideal body weight.
See, I was right.
So I'm at my
Ish.
ideal body. I'm at my ideal
How's your
body.
mouth?
Excellent. Good for you.
My body weight.
I am not.
My body don't look ideal, but the weight is ideal.
Good for you.
187, right?
So getting
Let's call it
to
190.
so getting to your ideal body weight, or as close to your ideal body weight as you possibly can, and staying there,
Are you serious?
it decreases your risk for plenty diseases.
Over.
Oh my. So you have some work to do,
How
but
how do you feel I'd look if I lose that amount of weight? Wouldn't it look like I
you
just
look ripped.
contracted
ripped.
cancer?
You look ripped. You look ripped.
There you
Wow.
go.
I don't.
You're looking for.
And then modelesque even.
Modelesque? Oh, stop it. Stop it.
I can't.
You're making me bashful.
But you would. I know some of us have this, because that's the way we've seen ourselves for the last 5 years or so, this weight. And so it feels like you should look like you have a sickness if you lose the weight to get to as close to your ideal body weight as you can. And some of us actually say, I don't want to have that look. Especially in St. Kitts, Nevis, where people offer their
Everyone tells
opinions
me that, Doc. Everybody.
about your size without you even asking them, why you lose so much weight, eh? To you, and then you hear the talk about maybe you got this disease and got this other disease. But if you didn't care, you shouldn't care. Also, if you get to that weight that you can get to and stay there and continue to live and continue to thrive, people will realize, oh, well, it's
I
not,
guess he
can't
did
do
it.
anything. That's right. And then you would see nicer results too from your health point of view. So who cares what they say?
Yeah, Jade and I were talking about that the other day. How people would look at your weight fluctuations, whether good or bad, and still criticize
They
it.
never have anything good to say.
And it's so interesting,
People come to me
if-
to me face and tell me, "Bah, you sick now?"
For me, growing up, I was always a very skinny person, and I put on a little size, and doing my calculations, I'm at my ideal body weight.
Yes.
And people will watch me, "Boy, you get bigger,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "But I'm
And
barely."
if you had not
I'm
done
barely
the,
big.
the weight gain, or if you had
They
remained the
would
skinny,
still tell me I look like
Something
a
else.
broomstick.
Yeah.
And then if I was beyond my ideal body weight, then
Oh my
they'll still
God, well,
criticize.
you-
So
Stop
you-
eating so much urea,
Yeah.
Ben.
And then even in the reverse, those people that were always, bigger, when they lose the weight, what happened to you? Sick? And it's just like, what? How can I?
It can't be
Can I?
positive.
Can I do something
Yeah.
for my body that
Yeah.
I can't
does
change my
not?
life. I can't be
Yeah.
better.
Right.
It can't be positive. So that's why you just can't be living your life for those persons, and you are doing what is appropriate for you. We really say get as close to your ideal body weight as possible for true.
That can bring it down to 200.
Amen.
Me ain't lower than that though. That there just sound like a lot of work, and I'm lazy.
It is a lot of work. It calls for some serious discipline. It does.
Of which I have demonstrated some, but baby steps. Baby steps.
Yes, and it's real. It's real.
So in terms of we already said to stay away from too much salt, etc. We in the Caribbean, we love with salt. We love with salt fish. We love with salty pork. We love with salty
peanuts,
fry fish.
salted nuts.
We-
Everything got salt on it.
Cook up. Everything is
everything,
just-
everything.
So it's like when I
And if
tell
it's too salt, we still eat it, you know.
I
It's
know.
just salty, but it tastes good.
Lord, you put a little bit too much salt, but you continue eating.
Yes.
Yeah,
we can't waste the food.
we're very much like that. So again, it does call for some serious discipline. And people tell me, we're going to take away my love for existing, taking away all the good foods. But
Now, I have a question. So, people are of the impression. See, he made the adjustments. People have the impression, and I would love you to clarify.
yes,
That you can consume lots of salt, but by simply drinking water, you flush it out. Clarify that for me. You've heard it before, right? You eat a lot. Oh, just drink some
Oh.
water,
Yeah,
flush
water
it
it
out.
out. Yeah,
and
what
a,
you know.
and a
And
part
same
two
thing
to
with
that
sugar.
question, before I forget. A second part to that question. People drink a lot of alcohol and so. And they feel kind of drunk. They say, let me eat something salty to soak up the alcohol. I want to know if there's any merit behind that.
So when we do eat a lot of salt, sodium, it's absorbed into the bloodstream. If your kidneys work well, which most would do until you do some damage to them, one of the kidneys' jobs is to get rid of extra whatever in the blood to keep it in a normal level, whatever it is. So it gets rid of extra sodium. If it's too much, it gets rid of extra potassium. So it does do that. But the theory I have to say again, is that in particular in black people, that removal of sodium from the bloodstream into the urine don't take as swift a time as one would like. So you would put lots of sodium in your body, which ends up in the bloodstream, and you drink lots of fluid, which ends up in the bloodstream, and that end result is that you have an increase in blood volume. Volume high, pressure goes high. So what you're actually not doing yourself any favors by having the plenty sodium and then the plenty fluid, because at the end of the day you can end up with increased you can end up with increased blood volume. But the truth is that if your kidneys are working well, both the extra fluid you drink and the extra sodium you've eaten will be excreted. You'll get rid of it in the
But
in the urine. So it's not just the salt, and then I have to drink a lot of fluid and I will flush it out. Some persons do that for their whole life and nothing ever happens to them.
Right.
So it is not just sodium and being black. There are other factors that would end up with this person who has a lot of sodium can get blood pressure, and this other person who had a lot of sodium doesn't get the blood pressure. There's no obvious black and white in the medicine thing.
So to recap, to make sure I have it correct, if I am out and I eat a container full of jerk pork or a barbecue pork and it is extremely salty for the reason the cook, she hand slipped or his hand slipped,
I was about to say.
right?
If your kidneys are doing their job, you should tomorrow
You'll be fine.
However, you'd pee a lot because
Yeah.
your body say, I need to get rid of this sodium, and then you should be good. You should be fine.
So if
But you just
if the pressure is up after consuming the pork because of the increased levels of sodium, and I go and say, let me drink a gallon of water to quote unquote flush it out, I'm actually increasing my blood pressure because of the volume of water in the bloodstream.
Correct. And that in most people will be temporary.
Right.
So then
until the next time you pee or something.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not going to afford you the opportunity to become hypertensive in most people.
Right.
Because your kidneys working.
It'll be a spike.
Yeah, it'll be a spike.
What about part 2 of the question?
So the alcohol in the stomach can be absorbed by foods. The advice actually is don't drink on an empty stomach. And you know that's like a throwaway phrase, but it's a truth. So if you do eat first and then drink alcohol, it's not that the food absorbs the alcohol so much, but then your stomach is digesting food, not going to have as much opportunity to digest
consume the
alcohol as well.
What about the salt though? Because the question was actually, people would say, well, a drunk and I get home soon, let me eat something salty, and they eat like a pizza thing or something. And
by that time the alcohol is already in your bloodstream.
And so there's no consequence to that whatsoever.
No.
Just one of those.
Those of you listening,
myths.
And the alcohol
Jade.
is already.
And then the bread.
When you're
You
drunk,
bread to soak up.
salt will
Yeah.
not help. We're sobering you up.
Including bread. The bread does not soak up anything
If,
because
it's,
it's
if, it,
already.
if you're drunk,
Lies
it's
and
already in your
fallacies.
bloodstream.
If you're drunk, it's already in your bloodstream. So the best thing to do is eat first before consuming alcohol, so that the stomach is busy doing things and will ignore some of the alcohol.
Well, you're talking to me like I'm the biggest drinker in here, Amali. You is the one who come in here Monday can't get yourself, you know?
Not from alcohol, from fatigue. I don't overdrink. Don't slander my name like that on the radio. Thank you, doctor, for that insight and that information. JD is always trying to drag me in public. Always.
Boy, you're just
It's just doesn't imply to
letting
thousands of people that I'm alcoholic.
Just letting out people left, right, and center.
Hey, Jade?
This is
Like you tried to do to me?
unreal.
It's out of outrageous.
This is unreal.
Doctor, you're unreal.
I didn't say.
Huh?
We have a call on the line. Caller, you're
We have
live.
yeah. Go through.
Caller.
Hello?
Hi.
Morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning,
Hello?
sir. Yes, go ahead. We can hear you.
Good morning. I was saying you all, the doctor normally entertain calls. Well, I was wondering what's going on.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, so I said I can try to see if I get in and break that spell. Anyway, Dr. Lawrence, good morning.
Hi, morning.
I'm at one of your usual callers, especially when the traffic is so tight. But according to, in fact, apart from all what you said about the blood pressure and so forth, I noticed you ain't mentioned one. Well, maybe many others, but there's one that isn't it a fact as your body gets older, the blood vessels lose their elasticity, so therefore they would not be able to, well, let's say, when things are elastic, they could move in and out, so that could resist excess pressure.
Right.
So, but therefore, when they can't do that, when they lose elasticity, they can't do that no more.
For sure. So I didn't go
into
into the detail as to why the aging increases
factor,
the risk.
yeah.
I didn't go into the detail, but I did say that I was one of the risk factors that we cannot modify. So I definitely did say that age increases the risk. Getting older increases the risk, and you're quite right. As we get older, there's laying down of fibrous tissue in the blood vessels, so they're not as spongy and elastic. You're quite right. So they don't respond quickly.
One more thing. In relation to that thing about not able to resist, there is something called what? When the blood vessel gets blown out like a balloon, and it causes death, especially when it happens in the head. I can't remember the name. I had a brother die from that in England. And I know a couple of people here die from that too. When the blood vessel gets blown like a balloon and burst, so the hemorrhage. What do you call that?
So can you please
I'm
repeat?
sorry, I was having an issue with my audio, so I didn't hear you too well. So can you repeat yourself, please?
I was saying that sometimes when the blood vessel gets blown out like a balloon, different spots, especially in the head, people usually die from that. Because I myself had a brother who died from that situation in England, and I know a couple others too.
Yep.
So where you call that? I know it's your number, I can't remember.
So this
So if you
swelling
could
is an
talk a little bit
aneurysm.
about that.
This swelling is an aneurysm.
Aneurysm, right. Okay, that is it.
Yeah.
So I follow you. See, I work in a factory, sugar factory for a long time, and there are many things like you talk about the blood vessel. I could compare to things in the factory. Because the blood vessels were made to carry a certain volume, just like pipes to carry steam. I use steam in particular. But if the pipe is too small, the engineer normally work out what size to carry what volume of steam. And he would blow out the pipe.
Yes, right.
And especially as the pipe starts to wear.
That's right.
So after a while you can repair the pipe, you got to replace it.
Yes.
But you can't replace the blood vessel.
Yes, right.
I don't know if you reach the stage yet.
No. So if you're lucky, you have an alternate route. So sometimes some people get they have different options for the blood to flow to feed the organ. So if you're lucky, you have another vessel that can take up the slack if one gets blocked or if one gets ruptured.
Okay, well, I know science would increase. The Bible says so too anyway.
Or you do a surgery called bypass, and you just bypass the problematic vessel.
Yeah, my father was a man who was born since 1894.
Oh.
And when I became a teenager, he told me that, I know you're going to be with your friends, and you're all going to drink, and so forth, but always remember, never go to consume alcohol, whether beers or whatever, on an empty stomach. Always make sure you have food. And I remember it up to this day. So I was glad when you were saying that a while ago. Yeah, anyway. Young boy, keep it up.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Yeah, all right, my boy.
Thanks for calling. Yeah, so it's true. Never on an empty stomach. And it's true. Coffee keeps you awake and alert. And
the shade in this room, man, like the shade.
It's coming from somebody else, not me today. So I'm gonna let it roll.
You're happy, right?
Because when it comes from me, I just get.
But it's fine. My back is broad. I can take it.
You have to treat guests properly.
So no, you treat you properly, doctor?
I said you have to treat guests properly.
And do we treat you properly?
Yes.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. I thought it was more shade again.
No.
Shade again.
No.
But yes, any other pointers, things to remember?
Yes, do check your pressure. So as we said, one of the things is about as you get older, you have the increased risk of becoming hypertensive, particularly if it's in your family. The thing I didn't say was if it's a genetic component to it, too, that you can inherit the risk for becoming hypertensive. So as you get older, especially if in this part of the world, majority of us are black. So as you get older, being of the black race, especially if you have it in your family, do check. You might need to do it only once a year to see that your pressure is good, or you might have to do it more often. If you're now trending upward in your blood pressure measurements, it's the worst thing. I think it's one of the worst things to be looking at heart disease that was preventable. It's a pet peeve of mine. I get terribly annoyed when I'm looking now, somebody's referred to me to do a heart study, and I'm seeing the hypertrophy, I'm seeing the heart disease. That is something that did not need to be there. I get very annoyed with that. So do your best. Don't get me annoyed. And, look after yourself.
All right.
And check.
And for those of you who want to get your blood pressure taken by a professional, where can they find the doctor?
So I am in the Meridian Medical Office in Frigate Bay in the
Telephone
Science
number?
Complex, 465-5096 or 97 or 94.
To make an appointment. And then you can actually just
And
go down to...
sometimes you can come and just get your pressure checked too. We do that.
Okay. So
walk-ins are welcome.
Walk-ins for those minor things.
Yes, sir.
Okay, brilliant. And for those of you who don't have transportation, you may traverse down to South Square Street, downtown Bastille, and visit the Meridian Pharmacy, and just indicate, listen, I need a ride to Frigate Bay, and they will make the necessary phone calls and get you there.
Make it happen.
To make it happen and
take
get
you
your
back.
checks up. And bring it back to town as well.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Well, no, because
service.
we have to make things clear. 'Cause we
So I'm supposed to do that.
Exactly. We know Kittishan culture. All they ain't here in the return. They ain't here that they're going. How I reach back?
I didn't think about that, but you're quite right.
And you will be returned to town.
But yeah.
Hilarious. Yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
Dr. Lawrence, thank you.
Thank you
so
too.
kindly for that vigorous, invigorating conversation. I'm now awake.
Amen.
Thanks to your shade.
For now.
If only you could carry it with you.
At that.
All right. See you guys.
We'll pause for a cause and get right back to our third segment on Island Team. Stay tuned.
What do you want in your pharmacy? Superior service? Check Meridian Medical Pharmacy. Quality drugs? Definitely Meridian Medical Pharmacy. Great prices? Always Meridian Medical Pharmacy. Call Meridian Medical Pharmacy at 465-5096 or 7 or 662-3274 or stop by at South Independent Square Street, Basse-Terre. Meridian Medical Pharmacy. Quality products, superior service, best prices. What do you want in your pharmacy? Superior service? Check Meridian Medical Pharmacy. Quality drugs? Definitely Meridian Medical Pharmacy. Great prices? Always Meridian Medical Pharmacy. Call Meridian Medical Pharmacy at 465-5096 or 7 or 662-3274 or stop by at South Independent Square Street, Basse-Terre. Meridian Medical Pharmacy. Quality products, superior service, best prices.
Look, I'm not trying to start an argument with you, but you have to tell me what it is that you want. I mean, your career is putting us in two different places, and to be honest, I don't know if I can live with you like this anymore. Just tired to be honest. I don't know what you want me to do, but you're never around.
Well, I'ma do my thing like this, rock to the rhythm like this. They love it when I sing like this, like this, like this. Well, I'm around my split like this. They call me when I get like this. And take a little lift like this, like this, like this. Have no idea what you're facing, but on some plane we all go through the same things. So I'ma send these thoughts to you with nothing but love, with nothing to prove, nobody be blaming. And I trust you gave me to some cravings, but haven't we all been through those phases? So whenever you make it back, I'm waiting with open arms. Forgive, move on, no love's gone. So I'ma do my thing like this, rock to the rhythm like this. She love it when I sing like this, like this, like this. When I'm up in that groove like this, girl, I love it when you move like this. So tell me how you are gonna lose like this, like this, like this. Girl, I was on a plane with it. Almost half the time we have to make visits. No, it not gonna ever be the same, is it? So I make up my mind, I'm never playing with it. We have to get up and go, baby, and break limits. Look at me 3 in a row, how was you saying with it? I'm plus I told you one was in the brain, and it's not even it. This one fresh up out the zip, lock it, put it in a grip. Like I'ma do my thing like this, rock to the rhythm like this. She love it when I sing like this, like this, like this. When I'm up in that groove like this, girl, I love it when you move like this. So tell me how you are gonna lose like this, like this, like this. Girl, I want put you in a crown. No, could I never want on you in a clown. First when you move, so I nip it and go down. Can't say a thing, no, my lips no make a sound. Was I pray you pick me. You're safer with me. You're independent like Jamaica 50. Could raise my picnic, you prefer the word child. Call it whatever, we gon' make it worthwhile. More wild pop style, like I'ma do my thing like this. Rock to the rhythm like this. She love it when I sing like this, like this, like this. When I'm up in that groove like this. Girl, I love it when you move like this. So tell me how you are gonna lose like this, like this, like this. I'ma do my thing, yeah. Rock to the rhythm, yeah. She love me when I sing, she love me when I sing, yeah. I'ma roll my sleeve, like. Take a little leak, yeah. Take a little leak, take a little leak, take a little leak.
Yeah, welcome back. I think that was oh my word.
Abrupt. He would try to trick us.
It was also rude.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Tea Time, folks. To all those listening, big up Joella.
I mean, see Joella and I
some of our regular listeners.
I think Joella deleted us.
And Merlin as well. Very avid listener. As well as who else by Kit Kat. Big up Kit Kat one time.
Good morning, Kit Kat.
Morning, Kit Kat. Morning.
Connie Brown is watching. Garin is watching too.
Why are you laughing?
You know.
Connie Brown is watching.
Oh, yeah.
That one got over my head. That's a movie?
Anyway.
Okay. I guess I'm an idiot.
All we have Gavin watching as well, and we have our I don't know his name, but J2DT is watching on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You know, YouTube does have the screen names, not the actual names. But
right.
We have J2DT.
That sounds
like big up to all the first-time listeners, man.
Yeah, they've been. These are some of the people that have been here since day one, including J2DT. He's been. I really want to shorten that. I'm gonna just call you J2D. I can drop the T. But J2D has been watching on the YouTube stream from since the beginning. Kit Kat says good morning.
Kit Kat listening for sure.
Wait, let me read it.
Yo, as him, Kit Kat got a job.
Yes, to listen to Shaman.
Oh my, Kit Kat, they say your job is to listen to your man talk on the radio. Well.
Kit Kat says good morning, neighbors, and my producer.
Morning once again, Kit Kat.
Whoa!
Wow.
You get this.
As it comes with a sexy voice, by.
You get the late night voice. Joella is here as well.
Good morning, Joella. Good morning, Juju.
Yeah, see, we J2D. J2D says that I could go with the J2D, so we're good to go. We in the clear. But let's jump into more tea time. Yeah, see, I know Joella was watching. That's why I took off the do-rag, because I knew she was Joella, I have to talk about this. Joella came outside my house to see my blonde hair, and I need to file a lawsuit because that is some
harassment.
That's kind of intense.
Joella,
she couldn't ask you this on a pic on WhatsApp.
Joella was hiding around the corner, and as soon as I parked my car and it come out, and I was walking in my gate, she rolled down the road in the car, and she said, "I want to see you here."
Wait there. Does Joella live next to you? Or
no.
To you? So Joella drove behind you?
I'm being stalked.
From Bastille.
But Joella is stalking me. So I took off my do-rag so she don't have to come outside my house this afternoon because I stranger danger. Kit Kat say, my job here is now complete.
Wow. Kit Kat, as him here blushing now.
Kit Kat, congratulations.
Blushing. His cheeks are pink.
And his neck is hot. But let's jump into another. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Jackie. Jackie says she like the new hair color. I don't know what to do next. When you're bored, you ain't got nothing to do.
You should do it dark blue.
We'll go through. We have a lot of time still. We'll rotate the colors. I don't know what's coming next, but brace yourself. It might be green. Who knows?
We can call it Rip to Heel.
I done. Anyway, let's proceed with TikTok. Take some TikTok headlines. So TikTok.
Wait, does it mean auntie?
No, y'all remember me. Okay, cool. It's cool.
I'm not drinking tea today. I drank a supplement because I want to get a boost.
I'll come in for me tea.
Okay.
TikTok is the question is popping up that will TikTok be banned in the UK? So if anybody don't know TikTok is if anybody remember Vine, Vine was a video app where you make short bite-sized videos, and they were normally of the funny nature, and he asked for tea and he bring it. Anyway, so TikTok has basically replaced Vine, and it's where people have been exercising their creativity, especially during quarantine. It blew up because people have been making all sorts of funny videos. However, it is the app is basically the app has Chinese roots. It's a Chinese app. However, the issue is becoming that TikTok is invading people's privacy. Apparently, when you download the app on the phone, the amount of information that TikTok is taking off your phone is unprecedented, and it's worrying a lot of people. And then there was a mass delete a while back during the beginning of the Black Lives Matter protests. TikTok allegedly banned the use of the hashtag Black Lives Matter on the app.
Really?
And because of that, there was a mass delete. Lots of people, got up and deleted the app because they say, if you cannot support the black creatives on your app with the use of the hashtag, then we have no use for you. And again, the app is basically made popular by black creatives as well, because a lot of the
stars, TikTok stars,
a lot of the TikTok stars are black people. And then of course we have issues where you have non-black people replicating the same things that the black people are doing, and those videos go viral, and then it's only after investigation people go back and say, well, this person did it first, so we have to give this person credit. So TikTok has a lot of
controversy.
Me fathers, hold on, I have to read this. As a TikTok, not TikTok, Kit Kat. So you just come over here, right, and you just get some tea. Kit Kat said, can we please get the doc back because my pressure just went up.
That.
We specialize in island tea matchmaking as well, so contact us for your needs. But anyway, so TikTok is basically been under a lot of scrutiny lately, and now the U.S. Secretary of State, they revealed on Monday that the Donald Trump administration is considering banning the Chinese app TikTok, and then as well as the UK, it's now becoming a conversation in the UK of banning the app. And it's not just the app is being banned for reasons beyond its proposed purposes. So it's not just they don't want people to. It's not like they don't want you to exercise your creativity on the app using the editing tools and stuff like that. But the issue is the invasion of privacy by the app, because the app is requesting massive amounts of data on you. And a lot of it is hidden. So we all know, especially with iPhones, a lot of these apps have to go through so much scrutiny before they end up on the app stores. Apple being basically the leader in privacy, but what they do is they hide so much of the privacy, the data mining in a lot of the code that it slips past the rigorous testing. So basically people are getting fed up, including governments, of the TikTok invasion of privacy.
The truth is, I think they really just rather sell information. I don't think it's a matter that they really hate the persons having information, but it's like, wait, you want all this information for free?
Yeah, I think that's the issue as well, because like you said, governments request information from you. They try to find ways to get information from you, to track your habits and your patterns and stuff like that.
The companies that sell that's the company
right.
They sell persons information that was mined from their devices, like,
because remember Facebook basically did data mining.
That's how they make the money. That's how they make the money.
Well, I have to be allegedly on the airways. But Facebook basically was in the business of selling data.
That is the business.
Y'all could say it.
That is the business model. Like,
yeah, it's
that is
to
the model.
sell data on people. And then we have cookies on the web. You know, you go to look up. You know, I want a new pair of shades. You go on Google and you look up a pair of shades, and you say, don't make one bother. And then you open Instagram, and there's 17 ads about the same shades you look up. You go on Facebook, in the corner there's 17.
Try this deal.
There's pages popping up, deal on shades, and it's creepy.
But you feel people care? I'm getting to the point where I don't think people care because there's things that are more important to them. For instance, remember when you had this app that would would age you, the aging app. You take a picture and it age you,
and
stealing
your facial data. And
basically was creating a database, facial recognition database, and people knew it, and they were like, "Me care. Everybody else look old. I want to look old too." And I just couldn't understand. I don't use the app for these exact same reasons. I remember when Facebook started doing that thing where you pop a picture and they start tagging the people for you.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I don't do this picture thing. That was it for me.
Yo, that happened to me just last week, you know? Somebody posted a picture on Facebook telling me, Amali, you might be in this photograph. And I was.
It's creepy.
As if Facebook you know that.
But people they don't care.
I get notifications. As in posted a photograph. You may be.
This is a mix.
You may be in the photograph.
It's a mix.
The photograph was like, me,
I feel like most people don't care, but because people are shouting that is an invasion of privacy, people are to some extent unknowingly pretending that they care, but they still keep the app on the phone.
That's why I don't understand.
Because I first of all, I don't use TikTok. I don't use TikTok. I'm not interested in TikTok because, So when all these things happen, I didn't go download TikTok. But for some people, when all these, the TikTok is being exposed for for some severe data mining and, blocking certain movements and stuff like that, to see people being like, oh yeah, TikTok is horrible, and then 2 minutes later they post the TikTok video. It's like
the ideas behind these apps don't really fly with me, to be honest. It's just interesting to me that there's this app that you create all the content and they get all the money.
Yeah. And it's insane because if the views these things generate. I have a friend in New York. One of his videos, just every week, he basically posts an update of how many views get added, and he just posts that he just hit a 5 million mark on one of his videos. And imagine your video is being seen to that extent, and you get nothing from it. But what you're gonna do? You like the views. So you're gonna go create more content for them, post them, and then TikTok just benefits out.
What it is that it's a exchange, and I think you have to understand what the exchange is, and then determine whether or not you think it's a fair exchange. Because what's happening is, I create a marketplace, right? Everybody else creates the product, right? I'm able to then sell the product. The product is not only just your video, but the information that I'm mining from your phone, right? And what I give you in exchange is emotional currency, likes, and you feel good about yourself, and you just continue doing it.
I was reading an article the other day. I don't know if you watch Black Mirror, but there was the episode with the likes, as basically a form of life. Your rating, your 5-star rating it basically tells you what type of life you're gonna have. If you're in 4 stars and up, you're basically rich. Your celebrity status, anything beyond that, you trickle down from there. But I was reading an article and it was basically talking about the Black Mirror episode, and it was basically saying that this generation, the currency for this generation is likes, views, and followers.
Yeah, that's literal currency. Except it's not.
You can't redeem it. Well, I'm going to a Barney's and be like, hey, I got 500 likes on my picture. What I could get for this? You can't redeem likes. But then these companies that are profiting off of your likes and your views and all these things, they're walking away with millions from it.
billion is $1 billion. Like social media is $1 billion industry.
And then even like these celebrities getting paid $1 million per post.
Oh.
Imagine they're getting paid $1 million per post, and you're posting for free.
Yeah.
You're exercising some massive creativity to try to post and stuff, and then you post and you get nothing from it. I mean, beyond the business people, because it's they're advertising their business and stuff because they're generating actual business. But for the average person who is not using their page as a business, you're giving these people content and relevancy, and you're adding to the algorithm for likes.
Yeah.
Like Kit Kat said, we lost the battle of privacy a long time ago.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We definitely did.
I don't even think there was much of a battle.
I mean, the birth of social media took it away. Before then, it was possible to stay off the radar. Now, there's an internet trace on you. Somewhere, somehow, you can be found on the internet. Even people who don't have pages anymore, you could Google your name and your picture might pop up in the search, and you done delete your Facebook, 2 years ago. But we have a call on the line. Hey, caller, you're live.
Yes, good morning to you gentlemen.
Good morning.
Yeah, this morning my mind was on all of you. I was listening to the news on freedom, and I heard Sister Sensei talking about some kind of workshop or something coming out from the U.S. Embassy in Barbados for tomorrow. Are you aware of it?
I haven't heard anything about that.
Serious? Well, see if you could contact her, because she was asking people who are interested in the arts, performers, and all of that. So I said, well, the pasting would be a good way to start. They're going to have some other people telling you how you can make business out of your art and whatever.
Uh-huh.
So call her. Or they said you can book by going to the U.S. Embassy Barbados.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe book. I don't know if it is one of the Zoom thing, but check it out.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll definitely check it out. Thank you very much.
Yeah, 'cause I said, well, pasting and whatever.
Yes.
I think she's participating. She and 2 other persons.
Oh, okay.
And the person gonna give you all ideas how to make money out of your whatever, how to protect your art and So check it out. I said I would call and let you know.
Okay, thank you very much. Madam. Yes, we'll reach out to her and find out what's going on.
Yes.
I was saying is that actually, she's speaking about the U.S. Embassy is putting on it's like a lecture.
If you know what she's talking about, as you
stay quiet.
No, I was dealing with the phones going.
I understand.
Okay, so, but no, what happening is that the U.S. Embassy is actually putting on a lecture, online lecture, and I think it's dealing with the rhythm and rights of songwriting. So it's speaking about intellectual property, songwriting, and all of that. So yeah, if you register by going to the
embassy website.
Yeah, the U.S. Embassy Bridgetown is the Facebook page, I think, and and you could get all the information you need there.
And the lecture is happening when? Tomorrow?
It is happening tomorrow. So yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it starts at 12 p.m. and it's actually gonna be via the Facebook page. So it's
it's a Facebook Live.
It's a Facebook Live. Yeah, it's a lecture.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
You could get it on the U.S. Embassy Bridgetown Facebook page.
Okay, thank you, Carlo.
Great stuff.
What is next, Mr. Master?
Next we will talk about the U.S. potentially gearing up to withdraw from
WHO?
The WHO, the World Health Organization. So they began formalizing the process of withdrawing from the World Health Organization
during a pandemic.
During a pandemic, to make it clear.
Actually, I was
Go ahead.
Continue.
Go ahead.
No. Please give the people the
information.
The information, and then we converse.
Okay. Don't forget, because your brain does shut off after a while.
Quickly.
Write it down in your notes. Then Trump's administration, they've notified Congress and the United Nations that the U.S. is formally withdrawing from the World Health Organization. That moves that move comes along with a rising number of corona cases throughout the American states over the past week. The withdrawal, which goes into effect next July, has drawn criticism from basically everybody. It's a bit interesting, to be honest, because remember the US were, they had a lot to say about Brexit, and here we see the US withdrawing from a very substantial entity that governs health around the world, and they're withdrawing. And this withdrawal basically is basically stemming from the fact that the United States president is, he allegedly he refuses to listen to what's being proposed, and he's telling people to inject things into their bloodstream, and he's telling people it's not real, and
the man has not worn a mask yet.
He has not worn a mask. You've seen him at all these things, and he's not wearing a mask. And this president who's basically been he's been rebellious towards health instructions. He's basically withdrawing an entire country from the organization because he personally disagrees with them.
I'm talking to a friend of mine in Canada right now, and he says I agree with Trump on this move. So I asked him why, and
Money?
He said no. He said the WHO needs to be defunded and rebuilt. I said why? He said it lost all credibility to me when they refused to recommend closing borders because they didn't want to hinder trade. I guess trade is more important than human life, and they're in the business of protecting trade now.
But dude, the truth is,
oh, Bobby,
Trump's position has been one, not like I said, it's a total denial of what the facts are.
What was happening here?
Right? And I mean, to be honest, he's spoken about this, and not only in relation to this organization, but in relation to many organizations that have to do with the world coming together to deal with some of these issues. And his position has been, why we gotta pay so much money? You want to be a leader? Then lead.
And you know what's interesting? There was a case the other day where a young boy passed away because he was ill, corona symptoms, and his mother followed Trump's instructions based on, his whatever.
I mean, he's the president.
He said to do this and do that and inject this and inject that, and the mother proceeded to do that, and the child passed away. So now everybody's...
Inject bleach?
Yeah, I didn't really read the article that much because I was so furious. Like the title alone just upset my soul. But she followed whatever instructions, and the guy passed away. The child passed away. So now everybody's calling for him to be arrested because he's same situation of drinking the Kool-Aid. He's telling people to do things that's harming them, and should he be held responsible for convincing people to do these things?
Look, bro, he's been constantly at odds with everybody. Medical advice, constantly at odds with the same doctors that they bring up on stage. Like, it's crazy. Like, it seems as though like they see sense and decide, no me ain't going there. Let's go this other way. Mm-hmm. Constantly just ignoring sense. I don't understand.
And then the sad part is, you're watching these people who you basically put your life in their hands. Medical doctors, some practitioners, specialists, telling you the same thing, and you're gonna take a man who has no medical background and you're gonna listen to his words.
But he's the president, and that position carries a lot of weight.
And everything he said is right.
But then why he also gets reinforced is because, like J2D says, he hasn't gotten sick. But then the thing is as well, if he has gotten sick, would he tell us?
No, but he's in a bubble.
But he can't. He's not gonna tell us because he don't want to be that person. He don't want to be. He'd probably quarantine and hide and have his secretaries tweet on his behalf
and say he went to play golf to come back.
He'll disappear until. But
they have been telling us all the time, oh, the reason he doesn't wear a mask, the reason he doesn't take these things on is because everybody around him gets checked almost daily.
So
like we don't have them luxuries.
No. But then at the same time,
So you're saying that there isn't a problem, but then everybody won't get checked daily.
But that ain't a joke. I mean, we spoke about this on the show. Oh, the reasons the numbers going up is because we're doing too much testing. We need to test less.
Yeah, man, that's the man, yo.
Bigly.
That's the man. Anyway, we're going to pause for a short break again, and then we're going to jump into our Eat Local segment. Our guests have arrived, so we're going to give them some time to settle in
and then we will
and to
eat
share whatever food they brought.
Oh, you bring food?
I smell something. And then come back and jump into the segment. So stay locked to WinFM 98.9.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Buster, pour it up, need the thirst quencher in my cup. If you have one, hold it up and say, what's the brother colors in my life? Refreshing and nice, and I drink that what we like. But stand you full of vibes, living for the color. And I'm black and white, we do what we like. We live to enjoy life. Buster, pour it up, different flavor. Load it up. If you have one, hold it up and say, what's the brother colors in my life?
Say what you say, make me go lock you off. Say what you say, make me go lock you off. Can't represent the king with them, they don't sit out. Kill lips and bring a ain't go out. From the rising and the setting of the same, I rust them on and stay with the positive. No get misled, no but that's straight with the negative. We have done a lot to overcome. Yet Babylon tag along, giving the youth them alcohol with sex and gun. Rasta man, I beg you stay with the positive. No get misled, no but that's straight with the negative. We have done a lot to overcome. Yet Babylon tag along, giving the youth them alcohol with sex and gun. Alright, if you want no ancient, see me tell you where you want. Rasta man want you. I been give man a blowy palm. And if them this see I me ready for turn it on. With word power and sound, yes I a sound a alarm. I educate the youth them to come along. I teach them about repatriation. I bubble shanty, seal up your turban. Dirty Babylon, them can't call we rebel Taliban. I Rasta man, them stay with the positive. No get misled, no but that's straight with the negative. We have done a lot to overcome. Yet Babylon tag along, giving the youth them alcohol with sex and gun. Rasta man, I beg you stay with the positive. No get misled, no but that's straight with the negative. We have done a lot to overcome. Yet Babylon tag along, giving the youth them alcohol with sex and gun. Alright, and it was clear from the beginning, said no for them no real. I many been caught up in a corruption, so them still. Them own a flesh and blood, them want to fight for the meal against the wolves and sheep, blood and shall reveal. I get some mind control, fi capture our offspring. Pan finger, me no want fi see no more gonna spin. Ragamuffin, you no see them losing. Emmanuel and Marcus can't fi teach. Alright, I beg you stay with the positive. No get misled, no but that's straight with the negative. We have done a lot to overcome. Yet Babylon tag along, giving the youth them alcohol with sex and gun. Rasta man, I beg you stay with the positive. No get misled, no but that's straight with the negative. We have done a lot to overcome. Yet Babylon tag along, giving the youth them alcohol with sex and gun. I Rastafari right is my only vision. Them can't lock within a no prison. Alright, send me from wrong to sing this song. I come along to try where I am. But Shanti seal up your turban. I guess we don't want to do no wrong. Yes, Ethiopians. Alright, me say them can't call we rebel Taliban. Alright, I beg you stay with the positive. No get misled, nobody stray with the negative. I think you have done a lot to overcome. Get Babylon tag along, giving the youth them alcohol with sex and gun. Rasta man, I beg you stay with the positive. No get misled, nobody stray with the negative. I think you have done a lot to overcome. I Babylon tag along, giving you them alcohol with sex and gun. Whoa, yeah, whoa,
Welcome back to the umpteenth. Because we have to, I want it to fade when I'm talking. Don't criticize my process.
I apologize sincerely.
I don't accept. However, welcome back to the umpteenth plus one episode of Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali. Yeah, we're playing a little petty. But we are about to jump into our segment that we dub Eat Local. We sing the jingles. Ain't sound good, but we'll sing it anyway. I choose to sing it. They keep telling me to pre-record it, but I don't want to do it. I want to sing it every time.
And then we have a new segment called
Espresso. Yeah, we do. We have multiple segments, and we also have a segment that we call Over Easy. Ain't sound good, but we sing them. And then we have Tea Time.
Tea Time.
We have many segments, but right now we're about to eat local. So, with that being said, we are joined in studio with Inside SKN. So, we, as usual, how we start our my head black in
So, how do you introduce it? As Bobby or Vittorio or the girls' number one choice? Like,
I was thinking Vittorio.
Vittorio?
So,
not Victorio, Vittorio.
So, we're joined by our guests, and we'll allow them to introduce themselves. So, tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is you do.
Good morning, people. Amali. Behave yourself today.
I wish you the best with that.
Okay.
I wish you the best with that.
Okay. My name is Vittorio Hendrickson. I'm founder of Inside SKN. What's your brand? The name speaks for itself. You know, we are a branding agency. Also, we recently add digital marketing to the list of things that we do. It's all about branding. I have with me today my assistant, who's going to give you a little input on what digital branding is and how we go about getting it out there to the people. Chrissy?
Good morning, radio listeners, Facebook listeners, wherever you're listening from. I am Chrisanda McCoy, brand coordinator with Inside SKN. And our digital marketing and promotion package is a package we put together recently, I would say since COVID, to promote businesses via social media, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And we help grow the business or more so recognize new businesses. We are aware that a lot of businesses are out there and they're not all on social media platforms. And so we reach out to them and try to offer our digital marketing services, which have been doing very, very good. So I don't know if I should go into details about what we give you in that package. We have several packages.
Before that,
Hi, Amali.
allow me to intervene.
Sure.
Before that, let us talk about the history of the company.
Oh,
I know.
Shoot that back to Victoria.
Yeah. I know. Because what we like to do as well on here is get to know the individuals. Excuse me, sorry. Get to understand the company, get to understand where the company is coming from to where it is now, so people have more appreciation for your brand and what you represent. I know you from a long time.
A very long time.
When I was a young man.
Are you not a young man anymore?
No, I am not.
He said it, so he know.
Yeah. Working at a particular place at a particular time. He was a supervisor actually. Yes, he was with my boss. And after that, you branched off on your own to venture.
No, before that, I went to another establishment.
Okay.
Where I learned a few more things to add to the branding packages that we now offer. I could say I'm allowed to say the companies here.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Okay. Once you're slandering them.
No.
Okay.
None of that.
The views expressed are not our own.
Okay, so as Amali said, we met at TDC back in the day. But I've known him before that. I think he was at it was Just Squared. Yeah, Just Squared Arts. Then at TDC, I was there for a very long time. Very long time. I cannot remember the years because it was a very long time. Then when I left there, I had intentions of starting my own business.
Okay.
However, I got an opportunity from the Penny Feathers, not pennies.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I took it. And as time served and passed, it was a very good experience. I get to learn a lot of stuff that I thought I had down pat, but they took it to a new level. So I appreciated that time spent there, those years. And then, after the 5 years, I decided it's time. So I went in, not with a great plan, but it worked out. Took the risk and it worked out.
You had an idea?
Yeah.
You jump in the water. Are you swimming?
Figure I want to swim.
Okay, wonderful. So what inspired? Well, obviously, the jobs you have had over a long period, basically gave you the knowledge and the know-how and the expertise to operate this kind of company or to provide these services. But tell us a bit about the name of the company, where it came from, what inspired you to go down that route, and when the company actually started, and the whole process and everything.
Okay. Well, when it started, actually legally, 2017.
Okay.
But it's been a work in progress for the past about 15 years of my life.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was always called Inside SKM?
No, it was First Notice.
Okay.
It was First Notice, and then as the years go by, I couldn't get a concept of the logo I wanted to put out there to fit what I was calling it. So after a while, I had long hair. I cut them. Then I never owned a comb since.
Okay then.
So I grew up my hair for a bit, and if you look at the present logo, which is Inside SKN, it's actually me.
Oh, okay. With the
it's actually
we out of here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the concept of the logo is the mine.
Okay.
The mine is a very creative place. It's not something that you can explain in 1 or 2 words. So when you get deep in thinking or deep in thoughts, creativity just keep flowing. And I live in St. Kitts all my life, so it's Inside SKN. That's where the name come from.
I understand. So now let's dive into
the business part.
Yes, what you offer. You say you have a package. Chrysanda?
Oh, back to me.
Yes, back
Thank
to you.
Amali.
We just wanted a brief history so we understand the man, understand the company a little bit more.
So we were talking about the digital package.
Right.
Should I?
No price, just...
Well, no price, of course. But like I was saying, we create or manage if you have an existing social media account. We create content for you daily so you stay relevant.
Very important.
In some cases, not every day, because people can tend to get annoyed if you're seeing every day posting.
It also depends on the kind of company you have as well.
We know when to.
Let me get in on that a little bit. We could create content every day, but sometimes it's just a repost, a share.
Right.
So if it's a promotion of a certain package or product, we keep it out there, we do a paid ad for it. Yeah. Because you can't let it disappear in the long feeds, especially on Facebook, because every minute somebody's posting something. So you want your post to be end up at the top, or at least close to the top. Not Coca-Cola, so I can't get to the top, but close enough.
Right. But outside of digital marketing. We also offer a wide range of services, products, business cards, logo creation, letterheads, flyers, promotional ads, stickers.
Everything brand related.
Everything brand related.
That's very sexy.
Signs. Websites.
Yeah.
Which is new. Victoria is playing with
Dealing
that.
with that? Okay.
So yeah. That's basically it. We brand your
We actually
businesses.
have a few websites that's already on the Inside the Skin. Also, we have our own website. I think most companies here locally, let me say locally, because I'm referring to St. Kitts and Nevis, they don't take the website thing serious enough.
Right.
They say Facebook, but Facebook again, if you're not going to spend your money, you're going to get lost in the feed.
Right.
So if you have a website and it's well promoted and well put together, now you could always
People
have
frequent it, yeah.
and you get your message across faster, and you probably get better sales.
Okay.
I think an issue that I see a lot with local businesses especially is, sometimes I want to see stuff about them and then they send me to Instagram. And Instagram is just pictures and...
You got to scroll just so much things to get
I have to
information,
basically almost to some
that goes
extent.
back to the point of having your own website,
Right.
your own platform that
So-
you control. You get to see exactly what you send people to see.
Right.
Because you send me to your Instagram after school, 300 something
You get
posts to reach the
denied.
bottom to see
You
you.
get denied.
Plus, I want to see I want to find out things. I don't want to have to check each picture to find the information I'm looking for. So I'm glad you're pushing people to do it. Hubs for
The
information.
website is insidescan.com. It's very simple. I'd advise any business out there, any young entrepreneur, if you're going to do a business, even before you start putting a name to it, think about everything that you're going to use it for.
Right.
Because the longer the name is, the less people going to want to type it in to search for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's annoying.
Exactly.
So
go ahead.
go ahead. Okay. You decide who you want to ask the question.
Anybody. You can find with anybody else.
Kevon, say Kevon.
Okay.
Okay, Kevon.
So what we're in 2020 and branding is not the same in the he's saying nonsense. Lock off your mic, please. Branding is not the same in the early 2000s and 90s as it is today. What
has changed?
What has changed and what do you push people to go for? Because you just mentioned the names, that's one thing. What else you push people to go for it?
Well, branding has never changed. The market has gotten bigger, but the idea of it hasn't changed. Sorry. The idea of branding hasn't changed. It's the same from 1960, whenever it started, in the early hundreds. What has changed is the need in the market for it. It's gotten a lot bigger. Back then it was just TV and newspaper. Now those things are on the back burner. It's more social media, website. Everything is digital now. Google Ads, YouTube,
Right.
your phone. Anything that could work on your phone, that works on your phone, you could find on your phone, it's the branding. Your very phone. As soon as you turn on your phone screen, something will pop up when you go into any search engine. Some kind of ad, you may see a TDC ad down to the bottom, Hartsford, and the list could go on. But what I would advise, let me go for the young entrepreneurs who are just getting into it. Because that's where most of the problems start. The idea of thinking that you know, listen, and do a lot of research. If you don't do any research, you're going to end up in a lot of problems that could have been avoided.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
Exactly. Keep it spinning.
Yeah.
So research is the key. You have to do extensive research on what you want to offer to people, and you have to be knowledgeable on it. If you don't, you're going to end up in a lot of problems. And master one thing at a time. Don't try grabbing here and there and jack of all trades. It's good to hear it, but there's other side of it. Whole of none.
Whole of none, yeah.
That's very true.
So,
yeah, I mean, he also always by Vittorio.
You're trying to say I'm not be funny.
I'm not only wise, but not this wise. Don't take it as an insult. But for the young entrepreneurs who are listening and who want to get some direction and help, assistance in terms of developing their brand. How do they find Inside SK? How do they find you? Where you're located? What's the number to call? How do they make an appointment? What's the process?
The process is very simple, and we can be found everywhere, from social media to our website. You could book on our website as well. I didn't put a phone number to the website to get rid of the trollers.
Mm-hmm.
I think if anybody is serious enough to get to you,
send an email.
They'll make the effort to do it.
send an email.
Yeah.
And it works. It works. People got my number from places I don't even know, some through recommendation from others. And so it's social media, Inside SKN. Everything is Inside SKN. All social media, Facebook, Instagram, even Twitter. We don't use it that much because it doesn't send a buzz in our region as Facebook and Instagram. But not even so much Instagram. Instagram is more of a international market. So everything you can find us Inside SKN. The number to call is 763-8672. Again, 763-8672.
Now, I'd like to ask this question. Do you accept WhatsApp messages?
I do. What I don't like is WhatsApp calls.
Oh my gosh. Preach.
Tell us. I feel the same way. But tell us why you don't appreciate WhatsApp. Well, you don't like really like. You're not a big fan of WhatsApp calls.
If you're a serious business person, you don't want to be asking somebody the same question over and over and then getting a delay in your ear. It's annoying. Just call straight, call direct. So normally if people call me, I don't express the discomfort, but I just hang up and call them back.
Yeah, that's what I do.
So, some people prefer it, I guess, for financial issues. But I prefer the straight call because I could hear you direct, I can understand what you're saying, unless you're in a dead zone.
I prefer if you send me a message and say, listen, call me urgently, please.
Even that.
And I call you.
I'll call you.
Yeah. I'll call you.
I try to practice. I'm living proof of it. I do not WhatsApp call anybody. I don't like it.
Unless they're overseas. I WhatsApp call
I send them an
overseas.
email. I send them an email.
I don't like WhatsApp calls at all.
And the email as well. Sorry, I didn't mention that. Earlier, the email to get us at is info@insideskn.com.
That. So what is the future for Inside SKN? Where do you want to take the company? Because now you're doing the brand development and digital marketing, website design. What is the next step for Inside SKN? Where do you want to carry the organization?
Worldwide. You heard me in the mic?
No.
Okay, I want to take
you can pull it back
worldwide.
to you if you want to sit back in.
I'm good. Thanks. Worldwide. Step by step, we get in. We do have international clients, not a lot, but we do have. For now, we are seeking to. I do not want to come out of the rural area, right? I think there's a need for businesses in the rural area, as Bastia is congested.
Quite.
Very. But at some point in time, it may have to happen, right? Based on
access, people.
To promote walk-ins.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. But my goal is to create an environment in the rural area that people would come to the countryside, as we say, and do business.
Right.
It's too much in Bastia. You can't even get parking in Bastia.
Yeah. And it comes on to value as well. I mean, people drive to Cooper to have lunch, and that's in there.
Yeah.
But that is because
food is good.
So, and I know you're very talented. So I know that you have a good product and it has lots of value. But it's just to get that out there.
Yeah.
So people see the value and are willing to drive, the car and wherever.
Lamberts.
That's right there.
Yeah, but some people still complain. But we do offer if it's a print job, we do offer the delivery service. It's actually free of cost.
Okay.
So it works. It works. Yeah, we do get a lot of jobs requests from referrals as well.
Of course.
And then when you post something on Facebook, boom, everybody starts. Oh, you don't do this, you don't do that. Oh, understand.
I have a question.
You may ask.
As a person who is involved in events, oftentimes you find it as promoters a lot more affordable to get our printing done
overseas
in Miami and so.
Well,
do you have sorry. Do you have an alternative for that? I mean, I printed tickets locally before, and they cost thousands. Like, it's really expensive.
They can't hear that in the mic, so. But anyway, yes. However, the price is not going to beat Miami price, but it's affordable.
I don't want it to beat it. I just want it to be reasonable.
It's reasonable.
Because I prefer to support locals.
I've been in your shows before. I do understand. What I tell people though, if you wanna do things locally, you have to think a different way. You don't go to the local man and say, "Well, I get it in Miami for $20 US." Okay,
that's Miami.
Miami have a what do you call it? A population of billions,
trillions of people,
right?
So they can afford because they have the turnover.
Yeah, saying it's got 50,000, so the market is going to be a bit higher than
50,000 people, but about
10,000
20 promoters.
Yeah, so the working population doesn't suit the cost. So,
but once it's reasonable, I mean, if it's costing me like $1 and change per ticket, then it makes sense. But we're talking about price.
No.
But I'm just hoping that Inside SKN can provide a viable alternative to importing ticketing and flyers and that kind of thing. Because the prices in Miami are actually unbeatable for real. Like you're getting like 1,000 tickets for like
$20,
$25, and I'm gonna ship in this deal.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't beat that.
You can't beat that.
But if I can break it down and say, okay, I'm spending 40 cents per ticket here, and I'm spending 8 cents US there, which is about 20 cents EC, I pay the 40 cents because you have to factor in lots of things. Number one, the dollar value. Number two, the income. Number three, customs and
stop
that kind of
stop
stuff.
on the customs.
Shipping.
Customs take up everything because you have to buy it again from them.
Right.
Exactly.
And I think the government should look into that. I don't think what they're charging us is correct. A lot of people feel to touch the topic, but I am not because I am directly affected by that. Prices are directly affected by that. I think they should look into it.
They should, but if they look into that, then they got to look into something else to look at the revenue. So where it come from? Some people say income tax needs to be implemented, which is an option.
Well, income tax come with a lot of things as well. When people out of work, you gotta pay them.
Right.
So
So there are options.
There are options.
And I agree with you that they need to be explored because the customs charges on items is actually hindering growth in the country.
Yeah, it's if you don't have a start for a help, a loan, and I would advise anybody who's just starting, don't take a loan as you start. Try to see how you could fit it first. Go a full year, and check your profits and your loss and all your expenses.
Don't jump into it head first.
Right.
Take your time.
Yeah, take your time. Because at the end of the day, the bank is going to want their money, No matter what, they're going to want their money. If you got to go steal it to get them, they can't get it once you get it to them. So I would tell anybody, take your time. Don't rush into it. Everything takes time. And when you learn through that process, it becomes more you appreciate it a lot more than if you just get help here and there. So
the journey.
Yeah. Got through it.
I understand. We're almost out of time. We have about
a minute.
Yeah, a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Well, we can keep talking till we hear the music. When you hear the music, we that's why we're telling us to hush.
Let's get Chrissy to talk about what the package entails.
Oh yes, please.
All the packages.
Yeah.
No prices.
No prices. Just.
If you want to quote, email info@insideskn.com.
Thank you, Amali.
Yes, but like I said before, it entails creating or managing your social media accounts, creating content for those platforms.
As in the actual graphic design?
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
Which I am, by the way, certified.
Yes, she is.
Paid campaigns, which is included in the package, so that's not a cost you incur on your end. There's another package where we actually come to you and take photos of the content. We are the lower costing package, you have to send us content.
Okay.
So you send us content, we create a flyer ad around it. The higher cost, we come and take professional photos for you.
Your lighting and everything and so.
Yes. There's
Your white
another
box.
package where we even go to meetings on your behalf.
Okay, that's really interesting. Yeah.
Some
Because,
people like to stay in the background.
Some people don't
so
like to speak
we go
to people. It's not their thing.
Yeah.
And we have companies where basically sell the product for them.
Correct.
You know, so if some company call and say, well, I need to enlist this service, you need to meet with us. So at some time we go and we speak with that said company before we go to the other company,
right,
and get all the information together. Whether if you want to give them a quick quotation for the smallest service that they provide, or medium, or the highest, and then so on that spot we don't have a problem giving that information and answering those questions for that company. Yeah, I'm looking at the time as well.
Yeah, so that's it. And Amali, we hope to get some business from you 2021.
And 2020 ain't done yet.
Nobody counting 2020.
It's finished in March.
Yeah, we ain't counting it.
We had a 3-month year.
Let me get myself. Things hard.
This is just like a calendar timeout.
Yeah.
The year's just
We're taking a break from time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Vittorio and Chrissy. Thank you very much for joining us.
You hear it? That's the Hush Your Mouth music.
Thanks for having us.
Very, very, very insightful conversation. We've learned much today about Inside SKN and what you guys do and what you folks offer. And once again, if you need to reach out to Inside SKN for any assistance with your brand, a quotation for any marketing, you can send them a quick email at info@insideskn.com. This was the you want to say something, sir?
I'm just saying they could also go on the website and book it.
There we go.
That is true.
Online bookings too.
That was our umpteenth +1 episode of Violent Tea here on Win FM 98.9. You'll see us and hear us again tomorrow at 8 a.m. for another exciting edition. Stay safe and drive safely and have a great day.